We are on the air. Welcome one, welcome all. I am Mad Valve Mike. That is Trent Gingermint. This is the Anyone But the Chiefs podcast where we routinely root against the Chiefs, knowing full well they are an outstanding football team led by Andy Reid, Mahomes, Kelsey, and co., along with the Taylor Swift circus, in which they most likely will win every game they play. This is episode 3. Here we go again. This is our Super Bowl 59 preview. Super Bowl licks, if you will. Trent, hello. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm a little bit sad. Last Sunday was tough. There was no football on, and it's coming to that time of the year. No more football, Mike. It's tough. It's getting tough.
I didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't watch the Pro Bowl games. Do you watch the Pro Bowl games?
No, we had Pebble Beach. You know, I'm a big golf fan. I know that's not your cup of tea, but I got a little golf on. Took a little nap. It was
All
enjoyable,
right.
but it was I had to reach out to some buddies. It felt weird.
Yeah, I always thought the one game in all this country that really doesn't need to be hyped up is the Super Bowl. But the reason I do like it being a week in between the championship games and the Super Bowl, anybody with lingering injuries can kind of heal up a little bit better. So we are seeing the best go against the best. But we have a ton to talk about today, Trent. We are going to go over, obviously, the Chiefs, our least favorite team, or my least favorite team. We'll talk a little bit about the Chiefs-Bills game in the championship that led to this Super Bowl appearance. This is number 5 out of 6. 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls the Chiefs have been in. Trent, makes me sick. We'll talk about the Eagles, their opponent, a little bit about the Eagles-Commanders game, which was a blowout. We have predictions in store for you all. We each have 3 Super Bowl prop bets that I will label, at least my 3, locks. You will make money if you bet on my Super Bowl prop picks. So much so that I believe I want to request a percentage of the take from all you winners. We also have dark horse Super Bowl MVP selections, and we might even get into some sun and sand at the end of the episode with our favorite spring break locations. We'll see. But anyway, Trent, let me start with you. Chiefs-Bills game was a close one yet again. You watched that game. Most of America watched that game. Your thoughts on that game and the Chiefs as of right now?
Not much to say that everybody hasn't said. Close game. The Chiefs, situationally, are just by far the best team in the league. Perhaps the best team of all time, if not the second best, behind the Patriots dynasty. We talked about it on the last show. When the Chiefs and Bills met in the regular season, it came down to one play, a 4th and 2, that Josh Allen scrambled for 30 yards, scored a touchdown, right? I think appropriately put that if this same situation comes up in this playoff game at Arrowhead, it's not going to go the same way. And lo and behold, 4th and 3, 4th and 5, whatever it was, Josh Allen somehow got that pass off and it almost got caught, but that's how it goes. Chiefs win situationally.
Yeah, the Bills were kind of hanging in that. They were winning, but they were going for 4th down quite a bit. They made a few of them. There was one 4th and 1 where it looked like Josh Allen got it, but then the refs, under a review, did not give him. Chiefs got the benefit of that call like they usually do. I will say that I do like when the home team gets the benefit of the calls. There should be some home field advantage other than your fans. That last play to Kincaid was interesting in that there was a flag on the field that was picked up after he dropped it. Suspicious circumstances. I had some people at work say they're not rigging the game. Why would they rig the game for it to go where less people are going to watch? And I'm like, so you're saying less people are going to watch for Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, and the circus trying to win 3 in a row that has never been done before? You think less people are going to watch with
Right.
that than Buffalo? And I'm like, I don't quite agree with you, and I don't know that it's rigged, but that
People
is
are
an
just going to be
awful.
haters and just they're going to say they're not going to watch. But what are you going to do? You're going to watch. All right.
Oh, it's what we do in this country. Tons of Super Bowl parties, tons of bars, tons of gambling. So
Oh yeah.
I'll speak briefly on the Eagles. The Eagles Commanders game. I think the Commanders getting to the NFC title game in Jaden Daniels' rookie season without a real good running back, with one good receiver in McLaurin. Ertz is at the end of his career, but playing well at tight end. Their defense is decent, but I think it was pretty much their championship just getting to the NFC title game. You agree?
Absolutely. 100%. Bigger,
Yeah,
faster, stronger, better coached.
it,
Yeah.
I didn't have the cojones to bet on the Eagles to blow them out, but it was certainly in the works. I was only concerned about how Jalen Hurts' health was, and it looked like he was at least 85, maybe 90%. Maybe not hitting on all cylinders, but certainly good enough to get the job done. Once again, fill in the stat
Yeah.
sheet. Three more.
Yeah.
Did he
Oh
go
yeah. That
three or
that was
four?
one of the most bet props of the week was Jalen Hurts under for his rushing yards because everybody thought his knee was banged up, and then the very first play they do a design quarterback run, and pretty much every sharp better out there probably thought, oh, well, lost this one.
Yeah, we're in trouble because he's running on the first play and they are not protecting him. So I think I think it's going to be a close game again. Now, before we get into our predictions, I want to say a quick little thing. 2 years ago, Super Bowl 57, these two met. So the episode 3 here, I called "Here We Go Again." This is a rematch of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they did play again the following season on Monday Night Football, in which the Eagles won in Arrowhead. They didn't play in the regular season this year. But Super Bowl 57 was a great game, if you recall. The Chiefs ended up winning that game 38-35 on a late field goal by Butker. It was also a late, probably going to be known for a late defensive pass interference call against the Eagles, which looked like a penalty. It could have been, could have not been called, but it was called. Once again, a huge call in favor of the Chiefs. But I don't know. That was a crazy game. I looked at the stats of that game. Hurts was 27 of 38 for 304 yards and one touchdown, no interceptions. He ran the ball 15 times for 70 yards and three touchdowns because of the tush push. He did have a very costly fumble in the first half, which Nick Bolton returned for a touchdown, and that gave Chiefs momentum for the rest of the game for the most part, keeping them in the game until the end. Because the Chiefs did score, I believe, 17 points in the fourth quarter to finally overcome them. Do you remember that game at all?
They were, yeah, the Chiefs were down by what, 10 points at half, something like that. They were down
Yeah.
double digits at half, I remember.
Yeah.
I just remember
Yeah.
that because I placed a hefty wager on the Chiefs at halftime with some decent odds.
So
so
you
I,
did, okay.
I I remember that part of it. But yeah, it was a great game, you know. Yeah, again, the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. Like the Eagles just seem like they're more inexperienced in coaching and quarterback, and they got all the skill, all the talent. I mean, that's how they've gotten to the Super Bowl twice in 4 years. So
Got to get
yeah,
it done. Got
I
to get it
expect a
done. I mean,
similar game. I expect a similar game.
okay. I mean, I look at the stats and I see that Hurts threw for 304, ran for 70, had four total touchdowns, and they still lost. Mahomes was 21 of 27 for 182 yards and three touchdowns in that game. No interceptions, no fumbles, ran for six times 44 yards. Nothing great, nothing. But it looks like if you say those stats, the Eagles probably won the game. Now, obviously, that defensive touchdown was enormous. Chiefs play calling, the Chiefs execution at crucial times is enormous. There will be one major difference with this Super Bowl against these two teams than the last 2 years ago when they played. And you know what the big difference is.
Is it Kelsey?
No. There's
Ah,
one big difference on the Eagles. It's Saquon Barkley. So
correct.
in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, Hurts was basically their leading rusher by a lot. They had
Miles
Gainwell,
Sanders.
Miles Sanders, and Gainwell were their main running backs, and by main running backs meaning option 2 and 3 behind Hurts
Right.
running and Hurts throwing. Saquon is putting up a season. If he were to run for like 150 yards this game and a touchdown and they win, you could make an argument it was the greatest season by a running back in NFL history. So that is a big, big difference in this game as opposed to last game. But the main players are still on their teams. Mahomes, Andy Reid leading the show. Kelsey is playoff Kelsey yet again. You got Hurts, you got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown. The game's in New Orleans. I don't know if there's a advantage either way for either team, but let's get into some predictions. Give me
Let's do it.
give me your. You have 3 Super Bowl prop bets. I want to hear at least a couple of them right now. Give me. What do you got?
Love,
What do you got, Trent?
I love the prop bets.
Yeah.
I love the prop bets. So for any of the novice gamblers, when we talk about gambling odds, right? Just want to throw this out there real quick. So we'll mention plus 100, plus 500, whatever, all that stuff. So plus whatever it is basically if you bet $100, it's plus that. So plus 250 for there to be a
It's
flea flicker.
yeah, okay.
A flea flicker plus 250.
So you're
I like
saying
that.
so that's one of your locks that there
No, it's not one
definitely
of my
will be.
locks. That's just a fun one. That's just a fun
Oh,
one. That's
yeah,
an
flea
example, Mike.
flicker. Yeah, I would. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue, Trent.
How about the Gatorade color on the Gatorade bath?
I go purple,
I'm a big yellow guy.
yellow. All right.
I like the
So you're
yellow at
going
8 to 1
yellow. I'm
odds.
going purple. As far as the flea
Okay.
flicker goes, I'm going no on that.
Okay. Well, it's your prerogative. Do you want my locks though, Mike?
I do want your locks. That's what I thought. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I got you. So my number one lock, and I don't know how this is not more bet. I went through some of the numbers about what the most popular bet props are. Right now,
Yeah,
for some reason, I understand why because of statistics alone. But Dallas Goddard is the highest prop bet player currently.
really.
Dallas Goddard, his over under is 52 and a half, and the public he is the most popular prop bet behind Saquon.
So Goddard, the tight end for the Eagles, his over under receiving yards or total yards, receiving yards
Receiving, yes.
is 52. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is one of your locks. Are you going over or under on that?
So I'm really sorry I keep confusing you. I'm just telling you that's the most public bet. That is not
Okay,
one of my
I'm
locks.
sorry.
If I had to lean one way or another, I'd probably lean. I want to say under, but that's still the most popular bet. I really think in this game,
You're
prop bets are
lifting.
going to be alive because Kansas City plays such a bend and don't break defense that they'll let guys get these yards. But my number
Okay.
one prop bet that I like is Kelsey's yards. All right. Bread and butter.
Okay. Kelsey's
Don't overthink
yards.
it. 61 and a half. I'd
61
probably
and a
boost it
half
to
yards. That's
70.
got to be an over. That
I just
has to
love
be an over.
Kelsey's props any way you can get them. Him to score a touchdown is plus 150. So you bet 100, you win 150. I just don't love that value. If I'm being honest, I might throw it in some parlays or maybe him to have 2 touchdowns. I've seen it like 8 to 1 or 12 to 1 on different places, but his over under for receiving, I love that. I think the middle of the field, he gets the rock. Maybe close to the end zone, the Eagles double team, triple team him, but out in the middle of the field, I love his yards.
So your lock number one is Kelsey receiving yards over 61 and a half. What
That's
is your
right.
lock number two?
Number of players to throw a pass, to attempt a pass. Now I told you this one the
Yes.
other day. I love
Yes.
this. All
Yes.
right, now it's 2.5, so more than 2 players, so more than the 2 quarterbacks. Right? Now you're getting 2 to 1 odds on that, on
So
the
that's
over.
plus 200 for the over?
Correct. Plus 200 for the over. if you're a pessimist and you don't like trick plays, and the Chiefs love trick plays, Mike. If you don't
Yeah,
like trick plays, you think, oh, nobody else is going to throw a pass. The under is minus 200, so your 100 would only pay you $50.
yeah. So if you bet $100 on the fact that only Mahomes and Hurts throw passes, and only those two players throw forward passes, and you bet
Correct.
$100, you're only winning 50. You said
Correct. 1 to 2
okay.
odds in horse betting terms.
I would. So your lock is the over. You think somebody else? There's going to be a trick play where somebody else throw. They. I think Saquon's throwing a pass for sure.
He could.
For
He
sure, he's
could.
going to throw a pass. You know, I just said every. I'm not the only one that knows that Saquon's having a ridiculous year running the ball. You don't think that Sirianni's going to throw just a little curveball in there at some point and do a toss to Saquon? And I don't know if he's going to throw it back to Hurts across the field, but maybe Devontae Smith somewhere.
I just
I
love it.
agree.
I love that angle. He's busting runs. You throw a toss out there, the defense sucks up. I just also think Kansas City runs so many of these gadget plays, trick
Yeah,
plays. You think of like a double end around that's a designed run, but the Chiefs are so well coached that Worthy's outflanked, so he just throws the ball away in the flat. Just a heady play so he doesn't lose
doesn't
10
have to
yards.
be a completion, just has to be a throw.
An attempt,
Good.
bingo. Bingo.
Yeah,
That's
and
why I
like
love it
and
so
like
much.
yeah, and like you said, Kansas City, right around the 5 yard line and in, they love Andy Reid loves designing crazy plays inside the five. So I'm with you on that. What is your final lock
Yeah. On
of
that
Super Bowl?
vein, Worthy's just a tidbit here. Worthy's rushing yards are over under 5.5. I kind of like that over as well as just one. But my final lock, and this is a lock, free money. Just take it to the bank right now.
All right.
Don't overthink it.
All right.
Um, the coin toss is going to be heads this year, Mike. I already saw it. It's going to be heads. You might as well bet it. Might as well just take the money to the bank.
So
Coin
you
toss
already saw it.
heads.
You mean in a dream you saw it, or in a, all right, you saw it in your head. Coin toss. So to recap, Trent Ginger Mints, 3 locks. You want to pay off your mortgage? You want a new car? You got some credit card bills? You want to buy your significant other some Valentine's Day gifts and go a little bit over the top? Here's his 3 locks. Travis Kelsey, tight end, Kansas City, 61 and a half yards is the over under. He is going the over at least by 9 yards. So he will be the over. Number 2, players to throw a pass in the Super Bowl, the over, meaning over 2.5. At least one player other than the quarterbacks will throw a pass. And if one of the quarterbacks get hurt, even Trent, and another quarterback comes in, and that counts. So that I think that's the biggest lock at plus 200, which is 2 to 1. I might have to put some scratch on that. And then finally, you're all in on the coin toss being heads, which usually it's 50-50, but apparently somebody has gotten to you. You have seen the coin, you have flipped the coin in some kind of test 100 times, and it's come up like 75 times heads. So you are all in on the heads.
Tails always fails.
All right. I'll give you some of my locks, even though you've already pretty much made enough money to retire if you have any nuts at all to go on what Trent said.
I'm going for
I
generational
saw
wealth, Mike. What do you like?
so lock number 1 for me. I saw a couple days ago Saquon's rushing yards was 114 and a half. And then today, when I was looking at it, I see 119 and a half rushing yards for Saquon Barkley. My lock of this entire Super Bowl is Saquon under the 119 and a half. I am locking that. 119 and a half. He will not get 120 yards rushing. Why do I say
Whoa.
that, Trent? Because I hate the Chiefs, and the Chiefs know exactly what to do. They will find a way to limit him to 5 and 6 and 7 yards. He is not going to break one for 70 yards. That is my prediction. That's lock number 1. Lock number 2. Because of that, lock number 2 becomes this. prop bet becomes a lock. Jalen Hurts passing yards, 210.5. It will be the over. It will absolutely be the over. The Chiefs will do everything they can to make Hurts throw the ball, even though he's very good at that as well. They have watched all year long the Eagles pound the run with that incredible offensive line and a superstar running back. You break a 70-yard run, it's a backbreaker for most teams. You're not going to recover for that. So I am over for Jalen Hurts pass. The third one is going to be the longest field goal made is right now at 46 and a half, Trent. What are you looking at over
Yes.
there? What do
I'm
you
very
got over
sorry.
there? Did I lose your attention? Do I have to flash you? Do I got to put some boobs on the screen? Put
Oh God.
Sydney Sweeney up here right now. Okay, we got Trent's attention back. 46 and a half, Trent.
Yes.
I'm going over for that. Harrison
Good bet.
Butker is going to hit a field goal over 47 yards. No doubt
Okay.
about it. It's in New Orleans. It's in the Super Bowl, in the Superdome. It's inside. Elliott is the kicker, I believe, for Philly, and
Mm-hmm.
he's had a tough year, but he's coming around, and he looked good last week.
That's for both teams, either team, right?
Either team, longest field goal made in the Super Bowl, 46 and a half is the over-under. I am taking the over, and I feel very, very confident about that, Trent.
I like it. I like it.
And the
Yeah, that
final, yeah, go
hmm
ahead.
No, you
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, so the final thing I will say is the over-under on, to begin the game, you talked about the coin toss. I want to get your thoughts on this. John Batiste, I believe is how you pronounce it, is singing the national anthem. John Batiste,
Is it
never heard
Jean?
of him? But the over under for the time, the seconds for the national anthem that he performs is 120.5 seconds. That's the over under. I immediately liked the under when I saw that. Now, couple of absolutely useless facts in that regard. The shortest ever national anthem performed was by none other than ba ba ba. Neil Diamond
Neil
got
Diamond.
through. Neil Diamond got through the 1987 national anthem in 62 seconds, just over 1 minute. The longest rendition was in 2013 by someone named Alicia Keys, and that was 156 seconds, which was 2 minutes and 36 seconds, I believe it is. 120.
Hmm.
So John Batiste at 120 and a half, I'm going the under. In 2017, he was recorded at 120.5, right on that number. But in 2020, three
Good
years
line.
later, he was recorded at 105. He's going shorter and shorter as time goes. Do you care about that at all?
Sounds like a Frenchman. They're in Louisiana. French people are dramatic. I'm taking the over.
Track goes the over. Okay. We will, just for shits and giggles or shiggles, if you will, we will um, tabulate these totals and see who was right. At some point, we will deliver it, the news to America. So stay tuned on that. Trent, you were in episode 20 of the Mad Valid Mike podcast, season 1, in
It's a
which
great show.
we previewed the NFL season. And I did not
Yep.
tell you what the title of that was going to be, of that episode. The title ended up being Anyone But the Chiefs podcast. Anyone But the Chiefs was the title of that episode. In that episode, you kind of laughed and said, Mike, I think they're going to win it all again. If you go back and watch that recording, you're like, yeah, I'd like to see somebody else. And we kind of said, we predicted maybe a Ravens game over the Lions 17-13. Looked kind of good going into the playoffs. But
Close.
here we sit again with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and you were correct. It's so hard to beat them. What is your final prediction for the score of Super Bowl 59, the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles for the second time in 3 years?
Like I said, I think Chiefs play bend don't break. I think there will be a lot of yards, maybe not a lot of scoring. I'm gonna go Chiefs 24, Eagles 15.
24-15. So you are saying the Eagles will, in fact, win their third in a row and their fourth in 5 years, which is unprecedented.
Correct.
All right. So the line on this game just is -1.5 for Kansas City. The over/under in total points is 49 points. So the books, Vegas, whatever you want to call them, are predicting a 25-24, give or take, Chiefs victory. I believe the Eagles win this game, Trent. I'm going Eagles 36, Chiefs 31. I have a dark horse Super Bowl MVP for you, and I'll let you tell me yours after mine. But the Super Bowl MVP is going to be none other than CJ Gardner Johnson, safety
Ooh.
for the Eagles, former Florida Gator, chomp chomp. He is going to take one to the house in the second half, score a touchdown that's going to be the difference. That will be in addition to either a fumble recovery or another interception in the first half. My Super Bowl MVP is former Gator CJ Gardner Johnson. Eagles take it home. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I love it. I love the take. I love the angle of the Gardner Johnson. I love it.
Yes,
Very nice.
sir.
Very nice.
What do you got?
I love so dark horse wise. That's awesome. That's awesome. Dark horse wise, DB is the way to go. For the Eagles, Cooper DeJean also returns punts.
He's CB #1. There's a great song about him on the internet.
Yeah, the aptly, the exciting whites as they call that defense over in Philly.
Yeah.
First Caucasian cornerback in however many years. 200-1. It's great value. If he returns a kick and gets a pick and they win. For the Chiefs, as far as dark horses go, I just want to point out if you take any receivers, even if you're getting 500-1, it's a dumb bet. It's a waste of money. Because
All
even if
right.
somebody catches 4 touchdowns, Mahomes
It's
threw
still
those 4, they're going to give it to Mahomes.
right.
But I do like on defense, I like George Karlaftis. 100 to
Ooh,
1
Purdue
odds.
grad. Yeah.
Big Purdue guy. If he
Yeah.
gets a couple strips, maybe a strip sack touchdown. Why not?
So,
Why not George?
so of those two, you're picking either DeJean or Karloftis as your dark horse Super Bowl MVP picks. Mine is CJ Gardner Johnson. I'll pick one for the Chiefs. I I think Xavier Worthy or Xavier, however he says it, is a speedster. He will definitely that when you said his 5.5 yards rush, like he's going to get at least one carry around the edge.
Exactly.
100% he's getting it. That guy can take it to the house at any moment. Now, he would for him to get MVP, like you were saying, it's an uphill battle against Mahomes. He would have to catch one from Mahomes, but also have to run one in. And then Mahomes would also have to not have more than one other total touchdown and probably a turnover or two because Worthy's only going to get it if they win the game. And
Right.
for him to get it and the Chiefs to win the game, he would have to score 2 touchdowns himself, one without Mahomes being involved in any way, and Mahomes would have to make a couple of mistakes. So that's it. We just gave you everything you need to know. Although we do differ on we agree with a lot of things except for ultimately the only stat that really matters, the final
The
score.
score.
So we will
What do you
see.
what
We
do you
will see
think
what
that
happens. You're going Chiefs. I'm going for the Eagles.
That's right.
If the Chiefs do win, it keeps this podcast going, and I love doing this with you, Trent. It's been fun. Even if they don't win, we'll probably still do some more podcasts together.
We can find
Final
more to talk
thoughts.
about.
We're kind of close to that 30-minute mark. We're going to talk about right after the Super Bowl upon us. In just it's flying into the radar is spring break. Any places that you've gone for spring break that were incredible times, amazing times that you'll never forget, memories upon memories.
Well, I think my age and everything, the spring break, probably from 2005 until maybe 20 or so. I don't know if it's still going on, but PCB, Panama City Beach down there in
Yeah,
Florida,
yeah.
cut it up. It's funny how we can
Yeah,
go from Indiana to go down there, and then you end up just hanging out with 20 to 50 kids from your high school that also went down there. But those are
yeah,
always good times. Oh yeah, PCB.
yeah. Yeah. So you're 27, I'm 49, so we're kind of different generations. So my spring breaks take me to the 90s for the most
Sure.
part. So during high school, Fort Myers Beach, we went to a couple times. Loved that beach. Then it got decimated by either erosion, climate change. I don't know. But then they put up billions of pounds of sand back in there, tons of sand. I got to get back there. But Fort Myers Beach was awesome. During college, we went to Panama City Beach for spring weekend 3 years in a row. Me and the fraternity brothers, La
Nice.
Vila and Spinnaker. I remember specifically those two clubs right on Panama City Beach. Huge, enormous metropolises almost with gorgeous women, wall to wall, uh, everywhere in the pool, on the sand. So yeah, I remember that. And then back in the day, I've never been, but South Padre Island in Texas was a huge spring break spot. I wonder if that's still a thing. And Lake Havasu in Arizona. And Cancun, I guess. All right, that's it. We don't really have. This is not really a great ending. Anything you want to end with that makes this a better ending, Trent?
I just love the idea of thinking about vacation, thinking about going to the
Yeah,
beach. That's good
sun in the
vibes.
sand. Yeah,
It's
we had.
amazing.
Yeah, in Indy, it was below zero for a while. Then it was like 70, 65 yesterday. Gave us a little teaser. That's what got me thinking about the sun and the sand. Hopefully, I'm down in Florida soon. So that's it. We're gonna sign off here. Um, that's it. What else? What's your final thought for everybody out there, Trent?
69% of the public is betting on the Eagles right now, and I just think that's hilarious.
69% are betting on the Eagles. We will see what happens. I love, Super Bowl Sunday is some of the best and the worst America has to offer. You can make a case that it's just one big ad after another, but I love watching the ads. I love stuffing my face with American food, so I can't wait. Trent,
Favorite
you've been
Super
awesome.
Bowl snack? Favorite Super Bowl party snack?
My Super Bowl snack is just nachos. I love nachos.
Well, there's
I
only
love
one right
frozen.
answer.
What's that?
Buffalo chicken dip.
Buffalo chicken dip. Yeah. I mean, wings. Wings are incredible anytime, but wings during the Super Bowl is a must-have if you're at a Super Bowl party. I am still looking for one. Find one, and then I'm going to crash it with you, okay?
I'll get back to you.
Sounds good. Trent, always great seeing you. This was the Anyone But the Chiefs podcast with Mad Valid Mike. That was Trent Ginger Mint. We will see you again very soon, America. Look, Lucas headed to LA, the worst trade in the history of trades. Oh my God, the
Hey,
Lakers.
Mahomes is a big Mavericks fan, so maybe he'll be distracted and distraught from this Dallas trade. Maybe the Eagles have a chance. Probably not. Go Chiefs.
We will see you all soon, Trent. You have a great day. I will see you at work, buddy. Everyone out there, be good, do good.
Heads.